Uh, Hey guys, sorry for the trouble. So yeah, we had a light technical glitch. So since we are starting off, it's going to be like this for a few days. But yeah, today we are in the first episode of the first season in the entrepreneur series. In Timecampus Never Stop series. So what we are going to talk about today is going to be something very interesting, because I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there, at least a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. I am going to give you an idea of how the entrepreneur journey really goes. How do you basically pick an idea? How do you basically find out the solution to the problem? How do you basically market it, sell it, and first of all, before doing all this, what an entrepreneur really means. Are you really an entrepreneur? I mean, should you be an entrepreneur? What are the challenges associated with it? Along with we will be talking of all the other things like government formalities. I will be talking about building the team. We'll be talking about marketing your product. We'll be talking about the right tools to get your job done. So we'll be talking about all this today. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. But before that, what I would like to say is the best way to make the series awesome is for you to interact with me as much as possible. So in case you have any questions, you have any ideas or problems which you want to share with me, and in case you want me to discuss something with you, let me know in the chat, and probably we will have a chat in the stream as well. So that way we will learn a lot mutually. So with that, let's get started. So yep. So today it's going to be about entrepreneur. As I told you, we will talk about the problem, the solution, and the business. So there are three parts to being an entrepreneur. So first of all, okay, what does entrepreneur really mean? But before we go to that, let's see what the agenda of today's session is. Excuse me for that. Okay, interesting. So this is the agenda for today. So we will talk about the series. I will talk about what the series is all about, all the episodes in it, and we will talk about what an entrepreneur really means, and we will see how should we go about the entire cycle. Basically, picking a problem, seeing if we can solve it in a better way, seeing if there is a person or there is a provider in the market who has already solved the same problem, or if they have what is the problem in the solution which they have made, and probably building upon it. And then we will also see how to basically bring about the solution to the problem. We will also see more than building the solution to the problem, the most important part of the entire journey is building the business out of it. You have to build a sustainable business so that at least that okay, this is going to be there with you for a long run, and you gain some profit out of it. And also there are a lot of things to building a business, like generating jobs, basically building up a brand, and a lot of things, building up teams. So there are a lot of phases in the entrepreneur cycle, and that's what we will be talking about. And we will also talk about how do you pitch whatever you are doing to the customers. So we will talk about that, and then finally about the customer. So let's get started. So about the series, quickly let me show you what the series is all about. So let me just open up my screen share. I will just open up. So it's in github.com/timecampus/neverstop. And if you go to this repository, what you would find is in the entrepreneur series you have two seasons, season 1 and season 2, and we are going to talk about a lot of things like how do you basically go about finding out what the ideal problem is for you to solve. First of all, is it a sustainable business which you can actually generate? So how does the mantle of an entrepreneur look like? How does the entire cycle look like? So what are the qualities of an entrepreneur? How do you become successful? What qualities do you need within yourself? Then we will talk about the market. We will see how do you basically judge the market, the business plan, MVP, MLP. By the way, MLP is minimum lovable product. People keep talking about MVP, but they forget about MLP. So we will talk about all this, from marketing to sales to pricing, revenue, grants, startup credits. We'll also see how do you grow, how do you basically go remote, how do you go multinational. So we will talk about building the network as well, the brand, assets. So we will be talking about the entire journey. In fact, it can't be covered in 2 seasons. In fact, there's more to it. So we'll probably build up as we go along. So yep. So with that, let me get back to the slide. And let me quickly show you how a problem looks like, how an ideal problem looks like. So basically, when you talk about being an entrepreneur, first important thing is, what are you actually doing? Who is an entrepreneur? So first important thing about an entrepreneur is he's someone who basically at least my own definition. So people would say an entrepreneur is someone who runs a sustainable business, who grows it, who basically solves problems. Yes, that's right. But at least from my perspective, an entrepreneur is someone who actually challenges the ecosystem, who basically brings about a solution transformative in such a way that you see a problem and there is a solution to it which no one else has done, or probably it is not good enough. So an entrepreneur is someone who basically figures out a transformative way to find out a solution to a problem, and not just finding out the solution to the problem, but also make it as a sustainable business which can be priced in the market, and probably grow the business along, generate revenue, scale up the team, and basically satisfy the needs of the customer. So test the market. So and also things like going for investors, pitching to the investors, satisfying the need of investors. So there is a lot of things which an entrepreneur will actually need to do, and it is difficult to do it all alone. So that's why people keep saying, don't do it alone. So you always need a team. So, and I am going to share my experience as well, on building my own startup, Timecampus, that is, and how it goes, how the entire journey goes. So first important thing to being an entrepreneur is the problem itself. So the problem is the most important thing to actually even starting off a business. So you see something happening every day. You go out, you basically spend time with your friends, hang out, you do something, and finally you see some problem which you think is causing a hindrance to you or to others around you. So that's when you quickly think, why is it like this? Why can't it be like this? So that's where every journey starts. So every journey starts at the problem. So for instance, in my case, so when I started off Timecampus, so it was not like I just went around and started off Timecampus. But then what I did was, there was a time when Jio actually launched free SIM cards in India. Reliance Jio launched free SIM cards, and people were gathering around in huge numbers, waiting in shops for a long time, not serviced, or they didn't get the SIM, and they didn't even know when they will be getting the SIM. They were wasting the time basically. And not just Reliance Jio, even in the case of demonetization, for that case, so people were actually rushing to the banks, since the currency notes were to be devalued. And what they were doing is, there was a lot of chaos basically, not knowing when they will get service, what will happen, and they were just wasting their time basically. So what if I can have a system where I can say, so this is the problem, so this is the problem I was facing. So what I wanted to do was, so I wanted to basically optimize the way people actually spend their time, because I didn't want people standing in queues unnecessarily. I just wanted them to go to the Geo center whenever their SIM cards were to be issued. So that's a scenario for a queue management system, a virtual queuing system, where okay, whenever your turn comes, okay, you will get notified and then you go to the store rather than having the chaos all around. So that's how it started. But then I started thinking, okay, is this the actual problem, or am I looking at something more bigger than this? But that's when I thought, okay, this is not just about queue management. This is about managing people's time. So the main reason why we do queue management is basically to save people's time. That's how Timecampus started off, because I also had problems in managing my goals. I had a lot of goals, but I didn't know how to track them properly. So that's how it started. So I saw a problem. I saw Reliance Jio, I saw demonetization, I saw a lot of floods. And not just that, I also had my own goals, with my startup and everything, and I was, having the problem of time management myself, and I was solving it through various techniques like Pomodoro and whatnot. So that's when I thought, okay, maybe this is a problem for everyone. So that's how it goes. So the first thing to everything is a problem. So now about the next part of the puzzle, which is the solution. Now I thought about the problem. Okay, I started thinking, okay, how do I solve this basically? So what is the issue here? So the issue was mismanagement of time. That is one. Two, mismanagement of resources. Three, and lot of the third issue was basically not having a platform to do this all. So basically, if I had to, let's say, queue up in Tirupati, for instance, which is a temple where a lot of devotees gather, so I had to use their own queue management system. If I go to some other place, I had to use their own queue management system. Why can't I have a time management platform? And even in case of tracking my goals, I have a lot of tools, right? I have Google Keep, I have Trello, I have this, I have that. So a lot of tools are there, already in the ecosystem. But the problem is, there is no single way to solve this problem. So that's where the solution comes. What do you actually build? So what do you actually build to solve the problem? That's the solution. But one thing to note is an entrepreneur, is not necessarily a developer, need not be a developer, for instance. If you're a developer, it's good, and it need not be it need not be necessarily in the software development domain. So it can be in other domains as well, right? So electrical, it can be in robotics or whatever it may be. So it's not about building the solution yourself, but at least getting the strength or getting the team which can build a solution. So that's most important when you are an entrepreneur. If you are not able to do it yourself, you need to get the right people who can do it along with you. So of course you need to be the main driver of the force, but still you need to have a good team who can actually build it along with you. So that's the solution. Now what do you actually do to solve this problem? So what I thought was, okay, let's create a time management platform where all the event streams come together in one place, and then I basically observe the events which people do, I analyze it, and then I optimize it depending on the domain. So that's how I went about this. And your problem might be something different. So for instance, in this case, so let's say people are not sure about what car to buy, what bikes to buy. So that's when marketplaces arise, where you can compare the models of different cars, models of different bikes, see the features which they need, and then finally buy it. So car deco, bike deco, and all that, right? So these kinds of businesses don't just start like that. So people face problems personally, and then that becomes a business. But finding the solution is not necessarily a business. So that's what we are going to talk about next, the business. So seeing a problem is one thing, seeing a solution is another thing, but then finally figuring out whether it can actually become a sustainable business is the next part of the puzzle. So first of all, if you have to make it a business, then important factor to consider is do you actually have the capability to actually do it? Because it's going to take a long time, and probably a lot of your effort to do actually this. You can actually build an MVP very quickly, you can build out a product very quickly, but then finally the process of converting that into a business is a huge cycle, I would say, because you need to see whether whatever you have built is actually useful for people. It may be good according to you, but you have to see it, you have to test the market. Basically you have to see whether people actually want it. That's the first step. Then the next step is, okay, people want it, now how do I actually generate revenue out of it? How do I price this? So okay, that is the second step. And now the third step would be how do I basically structure a team? How do I bring about all my resources together to make this sustainable, and to make this as a sustainable business where I make it like a process where not everything is dependent on me, but I have a team along with me who can work with me. If even so, it will be like building a business is something like this. At least I like to see it like this. Even if you die, so the business should keep running. So it should become a sort of process which is not dependent on you. I mean, initially maybe yes, okay, it might be hugely dependent on you to take the critical decisions. But as you go along, you should start delegating things to all the team members. There should be separate teams who are responsible for doing all the job. So you don't take it all on yourself to basically solve the problem. So that's the important thing about being, bringing up the business. So the thing is, you have to build something sustainable, which solves problems which solves the problem of the user, and also take into account that okay, you make this positive experience for you as well. So it's not like you build it just like that, right? So you also want to enjoy the process of building a product. So you build something which you are really passionate about. That's the first important thing about entrepreneurship. You don't just go about and build a business just because okay, it's a problem. Yes, you are generating revenue, but you are not enjoying it. If you don't enjoy it, it will be a problem in the long run, because you are not going to take this business across and cross the line. You won't be able to shine with all the competitors coming along the way. So that is something which you have to look at. You have to look at what your passion is, what the business is all about. You have to see the customer, whether they like it, and you have to take it in iterations. So one important thing which people do is, one bad thing which people do is, okay, they aim for a perfect launch. There is nothing called a perfect launch, because there is always going to be imperfection. So there is always going to be imperfection as long as you have not tested the product with the end users. So the fact is, it is iterative. So you can't have a final product at any point of time. There are always going to be suggestions. There are always going to be iterations. So you keep building the product. Okay, you give a good first impression. Then okay, the customer gives a feedback. Take the feedback. Then build the product again. Repeat the process. So you basically take the feedback, build a solution, take the feedback, build a solution. That's how it goes. So it goes iterative. It's not like you build the product and then finally you are done. So it's never done. So that's about that's the part of business. And also when you're talking about business, so it's not as I told you, it's not a job of a single person. You call this as an entity, right? So you have a lot of people working with you, so you have to give them salary, you have to make this you have to comply with all the legal requirements, all the legal formalities, government guidelines and all that. So you have to comply with all this when you are business, because you are liable for tax. You are liable for tax when you are generating revenue from the citizens of the country, right? So you need to take all of these things into account. So how do you basically contribute back to the community as well? So when a business grows, it's also the responsibility of a business to contribute back to the community. That's what we call CSR, right? In case of India, so that's called corporate social responsibility. So you gain something out of the community, okay, you give something back. Okay, maybe 10% of your revenue, maybe 20%, so maybe 30%. So depending on what you feel is right and according to the norms, but you definitely are liable to give something back because you are getting something out of the community. So that's something which you have to think about as well. So it's not just about you, it's also about you, the community and your team. So that's how it goes. Yes, so that's the business. So now talking about the next step to business, which is, excuse me, pitching. So this is the thing which I am really bad at. So okay, just give me a second. I think that my face cam is elongated. Okay. So the thing is, when you are basically building a business, you should be able to pitch or explain what you want to do to others, be it investors, be it customers, be it anyone else for that matter, be it your own family, be it your grandma. That's why people say the business should be the pitching should be as good as a grandma's pitch. So your grandma must be able to understand what the business is all about. That's how you should pitch. And this is what I'm really bad at, actually. So I have been trying again and again, but still. So if I have to pitch my business, this is how I would go about. So I would say this is so Timecampus is a time management platform for users and businesses. But when I actually did this, people started questioning. Okay, time management platform. Okay, so what does it actually do? So that's the next question which people ask. So when you say that it's a platform, it's not going to be specific, or they won't be able to relate to it. So you have to bring about a problem statement or a use case or something like that, so that people can actually relate to it. That's how pitching actually goes. So I can say, okay, imagine you are waking up daily and you are spending the time of yours, so 24 hours of your time. So what if I say, okay, I can basically understand what you do daily, and I can basically collect all the data depending on what you do from various sources which you use, and then give you recommendations on, okay, this is where you're spending most of your time, this is where you're wasting most of your time, okay, cut it down. So and I can not just recommend but also help you in cutting down time by giving you pointed solutions, like, okay, let's say virtual queue management, because you're spending a lot of time in queues. Or I can give you a goal management system, because you're spending a lot of time mismanaging your goal. So this is a kind of a pitch where I basically not just say, okay, this is a time management platform, but I say, okay, this is a time management platform and this is how it relates to you. That's what pitching is all about. So you basically talk about the business, and you also say how it relates to the person. That's what pitching is. So in fact, talking about this, talking about pitching, there are good series which people actually air online. One of them is Shark Tanks, where people pitch about their business and try to get investor funding. And another one would be The Entrepreneur, where people give a 60-second elevator pitch and see if investors are interested. These 60 seconds or 1 minute, that is important, because they don't just see the pitch, but they see how efficiently and how simply you are able to convey the pitch, or how simple are you able to put your pitch. For instance, if you are making a business plan, at least in the Silicon Valley they have a standard where if you are not able to basically convey your business plan in one page, then it is shit. So then it is not a good business plan. So that's how it goes. So you must be able to give a concise view of your business to others, and they must be able to understand it as well. So that's how it goes. So you must be able to make your pitch as good as possible. So next thing to the business is the customer. So customer is God, as people say, right? So that's true in case of business, because everything which you do, whether you're providing a service or you're building a product or whatever it may be, so your business need not be just building a product, right? It can be also providing a service. Like for instance, in case you are providing even a call center service, that's also a business. It's just that it's a service business, it's not a product business. So but still, the customer is the one who is going to use either your product or your service, and you're gaining, it can be either B2B or B2C, doesn't matter. In case of B2B, your customer is a business. In case of B2C, your customer is a end user. So irrespective of whether you are doing B2B or B2C, still the customer really matters, because that's where you're generating all your revenue from, and that's where you're going to, not just the revenue, revenue comes last in fact, that's where you're going to get all your feedback, all the feedback which you need. That's how you actually grow your product. gradually. So basically you don't know what to build right upfront, or you may know but it may not be right for everyone. So it might be a perfect solution for you, but not be good for everyone in the market. So customer is the person who gives this feedback, and you iterate along the way, and also gives you the revenue stream which you really need. And not just that, he or she is the one who is going to be taking your business forward as well, through things like referrals, through things like sharing it with other people. So that is very important for an organic growth of the business. So probably they may blog about this, they may tweet about it. So it doesn't happen. So it's not like it's not like a broadcast, right? Business is like an exchange. So you give some value to the customer gives something in return to you. So you may not ask for it directly, but some way or the other you may get it. So that's how it goes. In fact, I have seen businesses who have started off without any idea about a revenue model, but then finally they have started off generating revenue just because they have focused a lot on customer. So we will see how such things go. For instance, in case of Amazon, if you see, Amazon started off building, while you may criticize Amazon, of course, yes, there are a lot of negatives as well related to Amazon, but this is how they started off the business. They wanted to build amazing customer experience right from start to end. Like the support takes the complete ownership of the business, and that's how it goes. So that is what it's all about. So business is all about the problem, the solution, the business, as well as the customer. So that's very important. And now, yep, you can ask me anything you want, but otherwise I am going to end this stream. So thank you for joining me. So next episode, it will be about, let's see what it is. Next episode, most probably I will be sharing details on how to go about the entrepreneur mantle. So that's the next episode, the mantle. What are the challenges you will face when you take up this journey? So what are the issues when you become an entrepreneur? What are the amazing things which can happen? But before being an entrepreneur, you need not be always an entrepreneur to start with, because you must be able to take the heat. So that's very important, because it comes with a lot of things like you need to balance your personal life and the business life together, and it's going to be difficult when you're starting off. So that's what people say, okay, it's difficult to start a startup. Yes, that's true, but it's a risky path as well. It's a road not taken by many, but still, if you are successful, it's going to be amazing. So that's how it goes. So thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, just leave it in the chat, and I'm ending the stream right now. So see you. Bye bye.